Okay, so remember that a quadratic function, let's talk about what it looks like and then we'll talk about the actual formula. So if I draw like my XY plane, right, where this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, a quadratic is a parabola that can just kind of go like this. And that usually takes on the form of like f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. And so when they say the table of values and they want to know what the y-intercept is, and then they want to know the symmetry of it, okay? What we need to do is there's like a couple of ways you could do it, but the y-intercept occurs when x equals 0, right? So if it crosses right here, that point is going to be 0, comma, whatever the y value is. So my x value has to equal 0 to be the y-intercept. So if I look carefully, when x equals 0, y equals -5. So that one's a pretty easy one to do. You can just look at it. But actually, I'm sorry, I wrote that down wrong. They want to know the coordinate point. They want to know exactly where it occurs. So it would be 0, comma, -5. Okay. And then they want to know the function is symmetric about a point. So in other words, in this function, I just drew a generic function, right? So you can shift this function left or right. So the symmetry, we got to look at the y values. So here we go -5 to 0, then 3, then 4, then back to 3. So what that looks like graphically is I have this function, and I'll draw another function on top of the other function. But basically, we have a function that's at 2, comma 3, then 3, comma 4, then 4, comma 3, right? And so you have this function, and then my y-intercept occurs at -5. So I have this function that kind of does this thing. And this point right here is 3, comma 4. And so that's the point where it's symmetrical. That's where I can cut it in half. And the left-hand side looks like the right-hand side. So we would say 3, comma 4, because when you graph it, you see how the left-hand side, if I take a line and cut it right through that point, the left-hand side looks like the right-hand side.